I find your way of teaching yoga really intuitive. I find that you are a very intuitive person. I feel like you're reading my body without looking at it, and everybody else's bodies in the room when it's a group class.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come to that?
I don't know. I don't know how that happens, but that is definitely how I teach. And I remember the last time I tried to use a lesson plan. That being said, I teach people to use lesson plans when I teach yoga teacher training. I do teach them how to use a lesson plan because it's really important. But the last time I tried to do it, it was like this sandpaper going the wrong way. I just thought, nobody wants this lesson. Why am I doing this lesson?
Cool.
Scrap it. And so I find now, I mean, I do have lesson plans in my mind that I pull out of a pocket when I need it. But definitely I'll go in and sort of feel the energy of a room. It just happens very easily for me. And I'm lucky for that. And a lot of people will say, oh, I feel like you were talking to me the whole time that class was on. And I'll think in my head, yeah, but I was talking to me, right? So there's that element too, that I need to hear what I'm saying. It's not coming from my mind a lot. It's very much, it's the only place where I'm really etheric in my world. Is I feel like it's very much through other people's energy, through the feelings in the room, that I find the words to say. It was through my life too. Like, I know if I'm really strung out because there's been a lot of death or there's been a lot of stress in my life, I know I'm not the only one. And so if I say something that feels good to me, chances are it's going to feel really good to a lot of other people too. And same is true, so I'll tell people, come and tell me what you need in a class. So say you walk in and you have a lower back issue that day. And of course you don't want to say anything because you don't want to be the one dictating the class. But if you say that, chances are a whole bunch of other people need it too. But the other thing though too that I think is really important is I'm a very, very earthy, like I'm very grounded. And I filter that intuition through the rational. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not going in and just, I know that certain things need to be done for a class to be safe, to be effective. And so, yes, there's intuition there, but it's filtered through a very strong rational mind. Do you know what I mean by that? Like I find sometimes if people can work intuitively and it's not safe. But if you can work intuitively and filter it through knowledge, filter it through safety, then you get a great class. I mean, I've come to yoga through a really cumulative thing. I was doing Reiki for a long time. And Reiki is...
Can you explain Reiki?
It's hands-on healing. So I lay my hands on people and it helps. It's sort of like acupressure in a way. It helps clear the meridians of the body. It clears the mind a lot. But it's a little bit woo-woo, like it's hard to explain, it's hard to describe without sounding like you're, a little out there. So a lot of people, I was working in Toronto at the time, and a lot of people would say to me, you're healing me. Oh, I need more sessions with you because you're healing me. That felt horrible to me because I felt like I was taking all their power away. And I don't like that, and I really believe in power from within, and I believe in power with, and so I turned to yoga because I thought, well, let's give people something that is theirs, they own it, right? So they know how to stretch once they've done one class. I mean, they know how to stretch before, but it's something that they can say, well, I know how to make myself feel better because I learned this tool. It's not, oh, let's go and work with Allie and pay her, and that's the only way I'm going to feel better. It's I know that when I come to Ahimsa, I feel better. I know that in that space I feel better, and I know how to take it away. Yeah. No,
there's so much in what you've just said. Unbelievable.
It's really, there's a lot. It's meaty. Like
I love that you don't want to take people's power away.
Yeah. That's my studies. So my studies were all about alternatives to prison. Originally for Aboriginal people, looking at community justice projects, and then I looked at it for non-Aboriginal as well, but how to teach people that they mean something, that they're more than the offense they've committed, or they're more than whatever their life story is, to find that piece of them that is divine, And I think that that's what people get in a yoga class. I hope that they come out feeling like, oh, I'm pretty great. I'm pretty fabulous. And that to me is way more important than a headstand or downward dog or whatever, right?
What is it that you're trying to create in this space, Allie?
We're creating a space that people feel safe to express in. I want to create a space where people can fall in love with themselves. Really.
That's lovely.
I think that's it's a really powerful aspect of yoga is the ability. I mean, I struggle with body image my whole life, and I think yoga was the thing that brought me to peace.
Can you give me a definition of creativity?
Wow. Inspiration. I think creativity is so many things. I think I used to write all the time. I wrote a lot of poetry, and now my creativity is my teaching, and that, you know, the poetry comes out there. But I think you can be creative as a carpenter. You can be creative as a car mechanic. It's inspired thought.
Inspired thought.
Yep, that's the best definition you're going to get from me about that.
Okay.
It's really important as a teacher to be very much a student, you know, and be on the mat with people. Do you want to come and sit in here?
Sure.
So Ayurveda is a huge question. What is Ayurveda? But
Wow.
It's the medicine behind yoga, so it's 5,000 years old.
Right. How did you come into Ayurvedic medicine?
For me, it was all about self-knowledge again. So the path toward well-being in Ayurveda is self-knowledge. Figure out what you were born to be in Ayurveda, and then you figure out what got skewed, what's gotten out of balance.
Oh, so it's about finding a balance in all those aspects.
And that each person has their own version of balance. And then the remedies are food and lifestyle and yoga. And yeah, it's great. It's beautiful. Well, I also find, you know, yoga and Ayurveda, I think the reason why I stick with them is there's no end to the learning. You know, just keep going and going and going. They're holographic, too. So I like that.
Holographs? What is that? What's that?
Well, it's, you know, I had this cookie tin when I was a kid, and on the cookie tin was a woman holding a cookie tin who had a picture of a woman holding a cookie tin. So you just, you know, you go in yoga, in the ancient texts, they say that one single cell in the body contains the whole cosmos. And so you've got that one cell containing the cosmos, and then your body, and then, you know, the community, the family, whatever it is. And then you've got the globe, and you've got the whole cosmos. So I love that about it. It's just layered and layered and layered, and never ending.
The breath is very important in yoga, isn't it?
Yeah, crucial. It's everything. When I'm teaching, I talk about it being really 80% of any pose. Even something like Cobra, you know, when you're coming up, I see a lot of people really using their arms, but if you can use the breath, then it becomes less about muscle, or at least less about tense muscles, more about just elongation of the legs and of the spine. So stillness then is movement, right? So stillness is the rippling of the spine, the softening of your heart. So I think that that's one of probably the most powerful message for me. Eric Schiffman talks about stillness being the movement of a top. So it's not the absence of movement, it's not rigidity and tension, it's your whole self moving in unison. So body, mind, spirit, spine, bones, muscles, everything moving together is really what stillness is. If you look at a forest, you think, oh, it looks so still, but underneath you've got birds and bears and chipmunks and worms, and you know, same in our bodies.